Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about marketing basics, and I'm your host Robert Scher at Ellis Bubbles, and we're going to be going over this in nitty-gritty details. So for starters, news and relevance, then we're going to get into branding, PPC or paid acquisition, e-blasts, SEO, and then lastly screening and capturing your leads for lead nurturing. So let's start with the good news. Recently there was a report that came out from the Farnsworth Group. I had to practice saying that one. And you're going to see on this chart here that's dated through March 23rd. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but through March 23rd, these are the statistics that 87% of the people were at home more often. And when people are at home more often, they have more spare time. And when they have more spare time, they're saving money by not hiring a contractor, right? Well, that's where statistics disagree. Because if you look, only 38% of the people said they're saving money by not hiring a contractor, which means 62% of the marketplace is actually actively looking for contractors to do installs for them, which is really good news for you guys. The next thing to look at here is how many people have actually canceled their projects. So what you'll see here is that the people who have not canceled, which is the bar right here at the top, the people who have not canceled is 68%. And that's as of April 13th. So that tells you that there are plenty of people out there know that this COVID situation is going to end, and so they're making their improvements now. So guess who will get most of the business? There is going to be some dissent here on how to advertise. There's going to be one group that's going to say you got to promote the best deals. There's going to be another group that's going to be saying you got to do branding. And so I'm going to be speaking on the side of branding because I feel like that's the long-term objective. That's the long-term plan for marketing your business. Brand builders don't wheel and deal. Whenever a brand builder is doing their marketing and advertising, they're focusing on exclusivity. There's a company that's out there that's a watch company. They only offer their watches on the 5th of every month, meaning you can't buy them on any other day, 1st through the 4th or after the 5th. And so they're able to generate a lot of sales and interest that way because that creates that exclusivity. The other thing is limited time offers. So with a limited time offer, you could say something like what Starbucks does, right? They have their seasonal drinks, and people know that if they don't get those seasonal drinks then they're not going to get them until the following year. And that creates both exclusivity and limited. And then the next thing is bundles. You could bundle your services. For example, you could bundle a shower and a walk-in tub install, or a shower and bathtub install, or a shower and vanity install. And that's going to be actually a lot cheaper for folks because they're not going to have to pay 2 separate shipping or installers to come out twice. And whenever that happens, you can pass on the savings to the customer without really having to sacrifice on your revenue. So it's the best of both worlds. Bundles really work. And that's a way to promote your company without wheeling and dealing. Discounting should be pretty rare on a very rare occasion. For example, in saying, you know what, we're going to work with this situation, we're going to make concessions because we recognize there are hard times. So that's when you want to do that, but you don't want to do like weekly, monthly, daily discounts. That's just not a way to create brand loyalty, and that's what we're going for. The next thing is building a brand for relevance. COVID is a really good situational example that I can bring you guys. So you want to have a hero on your website, and the hero image should have booties, gloves, and mask because it's going to create comfort and peace of mind for the folks that don't want installers coming into their home and potentially passing the COVID virus on to them. So one way of communicating that your team is aware and is conscious of the situation is to show that, right? Not just to speak it, but obviously you want to also lay down some ground rules, like there's not going to be any chit-chatting. You're not going to be doing any handshakes, and communicate that. So how you're going to communicate that is through voice, website, and through your marketing materials. So you want to put that information out there visually and audibly, and then have your consumers become customers because they have trust, they know that you're relevant, and you're going to keep them safe. You're interested in keeping your people safe, and so there's a way to communicate that very simply. So the next point that I want to make here is that brand builders educate. Why brand builders educate is because education creates trust, rapport with the audience, and establishes the educator as the subject matter expert. And it's no coincidence that Google actually likes to focus their energies and curating content for people to find those experts so they can get those answers, because Google wants to be relevant, and the simpler the search is for the end user, the more likely people are to use Google versus any other search engine. Here's a pretty good example of why Google search results are so relevant. Here I typed in how to install a walk-in tub, and the first thing that came up are obviously options to purchase certain items, and then below that is a sponsored ad titled Walk-in Tub Installation Guide. And then you'll see here, scrolling down, is that it's a guide made by BathAid, which is down here at the bottom. And Google was really smart with how they curate the content. They basically created a clip, which is 103 seconds, where people can see the installation portion, which is apparently the most relevant part of the video for this long tail keyword search. And then if people were to scroll down, then they would see people also ask section, and then the third section down, which is, or the second section down, how do you install a walk-in tub, is yet another video, and this one is titled proper walk-in bath installation is important, and so this one is also 105 seconds long, and you can watch that video. So the point here is that, you know, content that you create is Google searchable. For it to be Google searchable, you need to have a long tail keyword title for your content. Let's talk about optimizing your website for Google search results. Let's say, for example, you want to know how to clear cache in the Chrome browser. So if you were to type that in and scroll down a little bit, you would see the same situation where people also ask, and then what you'll see in the third option is how do I clear the cache on my computer? And you can actually see that all itemized, very simple for people to look at. And if they want to learn more, they can click on clear your cache link to go actually into the website. But this is what Google is going after, is they want to minimize the steps that people take to get the answer they're looking for. That's not necessarily good for you to bring people into your website, because if people get their answer right off the bat, then they don't need to look any further. However, if you have multiple steps and they're very detailed, depending on the kind of content that you're curating, that people will click further to look at your website, which is exactly what you want to do. But your foot in the door is creating this structured content. And let me show you how Google scrapes that information and assembles it. So when I click on the website, I go to their homepage, and then when I scroll down, that's where I see the exact same content that they provided in their shortlist. And that's just what I'm calling it. And that's something that you want to do for your SEO, is you want to organize your content in a way that is going to be Google searchable, that Google can just pull that together and put it right on their search page. The next point is that brand builders create a personality for the company. So companies have personalities, and how you create a personality for the company is you start with the history and the why. The history of the company is very important. People care about that, and that history should lead into the why. So for example, you know, why did you start the company? Why do you care? Why do you make this product? People want to know the why, and that can be relayed in a video or in content in the website, but the best thing is to provide it in a video, usually in a message from the founder. And if you've ever seen the Pillow guy, My Pillow, some of his videos, he talks about his why, and the why is really important. Builds the story. It also, it's going to be important for you guys to identify your mission, your values, your 10-word statement, tagline, and also you want to niche down. Focusing in on your niche is going to be a way to drive traffic, and it just so happens that Google likes content that is really focused on a specific niche, because the more content you have about something, the more likely you are to get that kind of traffic, because Google understands that structured content that's specialized is what creates trust. That's what Google cares about, because that's what people care about. People want to trust somebody who's a subject matter expert. So going on to brand building content that drives traffic, this is what is called a multi-touch campaign, because these days consumers don't make a decision just based off the information they read in a newspaper and what a friend tells them, right? They go to a website, they'll take a look at their emails, they'll look at ads through paid acquisition or PPC, they'll look at regular mail, social media, text messages is a really popular marketing tool these days, and then also looking at information on YouTube, as I've shown earlier in this video. And so So a note on PPC, this is not the video where we're gonna really dive into what paid acquisition marketing is like on various places like Google and Bing. PPC is also a thing on Amazon and on Facebook. So PPC is a really big topic that we're not gonna cover here, but what I wanna mention is for those who use Google, that you wanna run a smart campaign, because that is the simplest way of running a campaign for somebody who's new to paid advertising. Just wanna create a little bit of a relaxed atmosphere. You don't wanna hire a man to do the work of a monkey, or a chimp that is. So MailChimp is one of the products that I like to start people off with, and something that I like to use because it's so simple. And what I like beyond its simplicity are the analytics. So MailChimp.com is where you would go if you don't have an email platform, and simply sending lots of emails through your Outlook or Gmail isn't the way to reach an audience. So if you want to reach an audience, you want to use a tool that's engineered exactly for that reason. Now, if you look at some of the analytics that are offered through MailChimp, it's really useful. So for example, whenever you send an email, MailChimp has a way of pulling data together through various sources to figure out information like age range, and whether or not the audience is male or female, so getting their gender. And figuring out your demographic is going to be really important for you to tie that information in to your other advertising and marketing efforts, especially those where you're going to be paying marketing dollars for PPC, for example, so that marketing money that you're spending is going to give you the highest conversions. So here's an example of the kind of templates that you can get from MailChimp. You can see emails, ads, websites, landing pages. There are so many options that you can get through MailChimp, more options than anyone can probably use in a 3-month span. Aside from that, you can change your audience through ad recipients, you can design your emails, and there are so many design templates. So a lot of this is drag and drop. It's really easy to work with. And when you're driving that traffic, you should be driving it to phones and websites. I don't really agree with driving traffic first to social media because it's difficult to measure conversion. And when I talk about conversion, I talk about sales. I'm talking about dollars in the bank. And the two ways that I feel the most comfortable with measuring conversion is through phones and websites. In an advanced PPC course, you would actually take those conversions and then feed them back to Google so they can really target the kind of people who are going to be the buyers of your product or service. So then you want to SEO your website. And when you start optimizing your website, you would do that with a keyword planner, and Google offers a really nice one. So keyword planner, you can just Google keyword planner and then something like this will come up, and when you click to get started, you're going to get some really awesome dashboards. So I created a keyword for walk-in tubs, and then I went to refine the keywords by pulling out any contractors and brands, and that reflected here. The keywords walk-in tubs generated 40,500 searches in the month of March. So there are a lot of people interested in walk-in tubs. So if you feel like then the market is too small or you can't compete, I just wanted to remind you that it's 40,500 searches. As you scroll down, you want to look at stuff that has a lot of monthly searches. These are average monthly searches. And so you can be using these keyword variances to assemble content and really get some ideas for the content of your e-blasts and YouTube videos and things like that for Google to drive traffic for the content that is relevant to those keywords. So once you start driving traffic to phones and websites, what you want to keep in mind is that the person that you're going to be talking to is unlikely going to make an immediate purchase, especially if it's going to be a larger ticket item. And so you have to be prepared for a marketing campaign that's going to last up to 18 months. And everything that you put out there in terms of content really needs to be synchronized among all the channels, and those channels are the ones that I mentioned earlier for you. So everything from YouTube to snail mail to e-blasts. As an example, I recently went to Wayfair and wanted to buy a bed frame, and so I didn't make a decision on the first day. I looked at some bed frames, I didn't make a decision, and then within 2 days I received a postcard in the mail from Wayfair with a 15% discount. So that's a multi-touch targeted campaign. They know that I'm looking, they caught my IP, they were able to back search my IP against some sort of a list where they could get my address and my name. They sent me the postcard, and then that postcard had a code on it with a 15% discount. So later on in the week, I went back to Wayfair. I found a bed frame that I liked. It was actually the lowest price as compared to anyone else for the style that I was interested in, and then I used that coupon code and got myself 15% off discount on the bed frame. time. So that's a really good example of a multi-touch campaign. They knew I was looking, they gave me a carrot, I purchased, I'm happy, I got my discount, and now I'm talking about it. So thank you for watching this video. Hope this was helpful. This content was provided to you by Ella's Bubbles in support of their dealers. We want all of our dealers to be successful in their business, because when you succeed, you buy more walk-in tubs. By the way, we also have cultured marble, shower walls, and vanities, and lots of other really interesting stuff on our website. Be sure to check that out. To be true to my mission to teach you guys, this is our value statement, and it would be a really great example for you guys to create your value statement if you haven't yet, and what you stand for. So in this e-blast, there's going to be a questionnaire that I'd like for you guys to fill out. When you fill out this questionnaire, it's going to help us figure out what content we should be providing you with that is the most relevant and useful to you and your business. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for today. See you next time.